Patty?
Yes.
Okay, we're here.
Yes.
Okay, just a second, I'm gonna switch
Are we,
to
is that loud? So just so everyone knows,
Alright, can you
every
hear
time
us?
you move,
Yep.
it echoes on the other end.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here, the entire board, and, Trish is here. Welcome to Humboldt.
Okay, like our entire board, our auditor, Randy Schwartz, and members of the public and the media are here on our side.
Okay,
It's 10 o'clock, the motion to enter the public hearing. So moved.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Who's on your side?
Rick Peterson,
One more time?
Rick Peterson did.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, you just get into where we're at today.
We've had a petition for title relocation from Iowa Case 3. ISG is working on it with Iowa Case 3 or for Iowa Case 3, so I will let them present what they have as far as the relocation goes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and stand, I'll be referring to the screen up here. First, I'm Ivan Dressler with ISG, and we're working with Iowa Case 3 both on the site development and then also evaluation of the facility, the district facility in regards to what it needs or what it takes for the reroute and the capacity of that reroute. Also, I have with me today, Caleb Rasmussen. He is an engineer firm that works on the evaluation of stormwater basins on the site, and additionally, is the evaluation of the tile capacity, both the original district facility, the capacity of the reroute, and what is proposed for the sizing and capacity of the proposed additional reroute. Also, Darren Eckert with Iowa Case 3 is here. He is the site manager and represents Iowa Case 3. So we have him here in attendance too. Again, as Deb mentioned, there is a petition by Iowa Case 3 for modifications to accommodate the expansion to their Winfield operation. I want to point out a little bit, this is cited in Section 19 of Liberty Township. Back a little bit of the history here, this expansion is going to call for an additional 5 double-wide layer barns that are cage-free and facilitating new cage style. There will also be a manure barn for bars 10 through 12, and also an additional manure barn down here for bars 8, 9. Barn number 7 is a newer facility barn that was started construction in 2016, was completed last, I guess, officially this spring. And that's also for this Iowa cage-free originally permitted site in 2009, involved 6 lay barns, and then there was going to be an additional 6 lay barns on this side. And as part of that reroute that was proposed as part of the original siting, that reroute came in between the additional 6 barns that were going to be constructed. That petition was reviewed at hearing. The capacity of the existing district tile, you can see approximately where the existing district main 28 and the district 2 used to traverse on kind of a curved path through this corner of section 19 and then type into this location right there. The The original site was maxed out at a 124,000 barrels. In 2016, it was decided that because of the change in the egg industry, that they were going to a new style of building. Barn number 7 was part of that permit, and then in 2016 was the only barn permitted in 2016, along with this additional manure barn. That barn in itself completed the capacity of the site to 1.44 million barrels. They started discussions in 2017 for possible contract for liquid egg off of this site from cage-free facility. And with their planning for liquid egg, meant they were going to need to be able to build a egg breaking facility on site. The capital cost involved with a egg breaking plant required that they were going to need to have the site expand up over 3.8 million birds. The planning for this, there was a permit process required, again, with the matrix, which the matrix was approved by the county, and the DNR has issued the construction permit for the expansion, which will involve this egg breaking facility and the additional 5 laying barns and the additional manure barns. We know that we work with the drainage districts in multiple counties. We know that it's critical for the landowners to be able to maintain their capacity to the district facility. To address that issue with the barns providing additional runoff in comparison to the ag ground, there are 3 stormwater basins planned for this site. Part of the watershed that was originally draining into 28-2, this portion around the lagoon system and manure barn number 5, that water will be agitated to a stormwater basin in the northeast corner of the site. The outlet for that stormwater basin here in the northeast corner is by a private tile system being installed by Iowa Cage-Free, which takes that discharge directly to the Boone River. That tile installation will be occurring yet this fall. The northwest stormwater basin is situated here, and barns number 12 or 10 to 12 land barns, the runoff from those barns will actually be routed underground from these locations into stormwater basin number the northeast or the northwest stormwater basin. And that basin will tie discharge into the district facility, but will be controlled through the stormwater basin so that we are not discharging at max capacity. We're just basically going to control that by intake and size of tile discharge going into the district facility. We want that basin to act just like we want for agricultural purposes. We want to throw that storm runoff and then basically release it over a period of 48 hours back into the system. Also, to address the additional expansion down here in the southwest corner, the south stormwater basin is also planned. That will be picking up the water from part of barn number 7, all 8 and 9, and manure barn 4 and manure barn 3 will be going into that stormwater basin. Again, directly discharge into the district facility, but to, again, at a controlled rate so that we are not flooding out. We're using up natural surface storage by our construction, so we're building that storage back in with the stormwater basin. I'm going to turn and our proposed sizing for this additional reroute of the district facility. So with the sizing of the stormwater basin, sizing requirements is what design storm we would want to choose. SUDOS and urban applications recommend a 5-year, 24-hour, 24-hour storm for urban application. So, stormwater basins are sized to handle a 10-year, 24-hour runoff from this site. And then that runoff, as I've indicated, will be discharged at full rate from these stormwater basins back to determining that rate at which we can discharge stormwater basins to. We evaluated the capacity of this tile investigation, verified elevation. With that, DES has provided us the original plan from 1968 for the facility, and also the reroute that was set in 2009. Give me a second. So the original plat that we had, provided to us in 1968, shows a 16-inch tile, an 18-inch tile, the full south side of Case Street property, 3,100 grade. Above that, once it crosses the road into Iowa Case Street property, it was installed over 10% grade. Based on the drainage coefficient, we looked at south would be approximately a 4-inch drainage coefficient, and north of that road would be about an 8-inch drainage coefficient. When the site was first done, or first rerouted, I believe Washington was the engineer. They called out 0.15% grade on the reroute. That being, it indicated that what was proposed was not what was installed. The original district facility, based on their elevations and what we had found in the field, it discovered that about a 1/4-inch drainage coefficient was established for the entire facility. So, 1/4-inch below this road and a 1/4-inch above this road. Previously, this was only supposed to be an 8-inch as proposed. So we have sized the reroute to that 1/4-inch drainage coefficient. Moving to the reroute profile. Moving coming in approximately where the stormwater basin is, the south stormwater basin, routing it along the south property line, and then routing it along the west property line to tie into the district tile at approximately northwest stormwater basin. The reason for this reroute, and not just to extend it north and over, is that for future maintenance, for the district purposes, they don't have to get in between barns. They don't have to go through water lines for other barns. Will be completely out of the way, so easier for the district
outlet every storm water basin. So it's the same goes, we have a 14-inch tile while you're intake from the field or that size, it's not like we're putting a 10-inch and just custom it. Additionally, the stormwater basins will help take up sediment from the runoff, so cleaner water sharing, less susceptibility for sedimentation in the tile. And then additionally, as I indicated, in the northeast stormwater basin, we're moving toward the watershed. So, long term, we should be decreasing the amount of acres flowing through the tile and controlling it at a rate equivalent of what it was. You might want to go over so, part of the handout is the capacity table. So, on the first table, first table shows the original design capacity in 1968 compared to what we found and what we showed also with those. So, the outlet to the ditch, very south portion of the district, 7.48 CFS, and up to the road, 5.46. This is that quarter-inch drainage coefficient that was originally proposed. Above the station 40, everything goes to an 8-inch drainage coefficient.
Again, this is what was the original district, plan, based on this old original, plat in profile.
So, with the original reroute, obviously a section of that tile was removed. We weren't able to actually verify that grade, but we were able to verify what the reroute was done. So, when we investigated the reroute, what Bolstro has suggested, which is 0.49 CFS, 4.9 CFS, and originally proposed was 2.9. So, almost not quite 7. And then additionally, the 14-inch tile proposed in 1968 on 10th grade. The investigated side showed the 14-inch was installed on 3/10th grade, which is slightly greater than a quarter-inch drainage coefficient. So what we propose, outlet doesn't change, we're not going further south. There's a section of the tile installed from the original 2009 relock route that will remain unchanged. We'll pick up, we'll install 696 millimeter feet, 0.13% grade, and compared to what we've interpolated from the 1968 actual installation will be 101% of that range capacity. So we're not really changing it at all as far as what we believe was originally installed. From there, we'll install 1,298 millimeter feet of 18-inch at a 10.2% grade, and that will be 4.44 CFS. And what we're comparing that to is 14-inch installed on that 3/10 grade. And that is providing 140% of the drainage capacity. If we were to move to a smaller tile, there would be some restrictions to that 80%. So that's why we're looking to go to 18, not like a 50. And then what we're tying into the tile is that 3.6 with that 14-inch install on that 0.3. That's great. So part of the reason also for the sizes is to maintain cover. While we are going close to the south stormwater basin, we want to ensure that there's adequate cover to protect tree spots. So that's why you see part of this tree right now.
Okay, at this point, we would like, to ask if the board, and also Humboldt board, from my home, is there any questions in regard to the analysis, that we've prepared in regard to this reroute?
This is Rick Peterson. It looks to me like I compare it to like you're trying to restore a car to original, spending a ton of money to make it original. Why don't we just put a new main in, upsize the coefficiency to a 1-inch and settle all these problems? So down the road, we're not going back to the same issue and revisiting it and spending a whole bunch more money 10 years from now when they need more drainage north of this facility. Why don't we do it right the first time and improve the drainage instead of just trying to restore it to the original?
Well, yeah, Rick, this is Ivan. Obviously, Iowa Cage-Free is responsible to make sure that they're providing at a minimum the capacity that the existing facility has. In addition, their responsibility also is involved in regard to the putting in stormwater basins, controlling discharge on the site so that we're not overburdening the district facility with the increased runoff from the building facility. One thing we did in addition to the current, we know that there is a lot of water that has been ponding along 200 Street. And to address that issue, Iowa Cage-Free is working with the neighboring landowners to the south. I know, Rick, you can't see it, but I went back to the original overview of the aerial site. Along the south edge of the existing barns 1 through 6, we are working with the neighboring landowner, Mark Hardy, who owns the property to the south. He is putting in an additional private tile across his property to the Boone River, and that will tap into the very southeast corner of Iowa Cage-Free property, so that we are also picking up this runoff that's been ponding along the road. And on Miami's property, there is a fairly large plume where water stands. We believe there is private tile that is broken between our property that actually used to outlet directly into the district facility. Mark is wanting to improve capacity-wise, so combination-wise, we would be taking that additional water off. Now, if the district overall is interested in possibly upgrading the district facility, obviously, the cost of that increase would have to go through improvement proceedings, and we would have to address potential wetland issues that go along with that, and the landowners involved would also be involved in sharing in the cost of that tile improvement. So, Iowa Cage-Free is trying to be a responsible landowner in the district, trying to make sure that they are causing additional reduction in capacity to the neighboring landowners and ensuring that they are providing the actual capacity make sure that they're providing as much or more capacity than what they had before. Now, if the district is serious about wanting to move forward with an improvement, Iowa Cage Free would be very much willing to be part of that discussion of an improvement in this facility.
That is actually what I know that 10 inch he's talking about, but
Have they had, this is Rick Peters
that
again,
northeast.
have they had any kind of discussions with the district
They
about
never did.
doing an improvement
You get reclassified this.
with the landowner?
We've been fighting Rick on the $3 corn, there's very few positions coming in.
Totally, tell them, Kyle's what it is.
They're limited right now on, improvements, seems to be, what, this time? We've not seen any. We do have objections filed. Actually, Rick, did I answer your question enough?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had had any petitions for an improvement from anyone.
No, not at this time. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up to the public over in here, Yes? Yeah, go ahead. Good.
It's really not our problem, our platform is just our tax through that. If you look at your map, look on the acres of they get it better. They converted the use of that land. It's not, that drainage ditch was that built to service a commercial area. And that's what they're, that's what they're making it do. So, they're gonna just put in the bottom of the lot, we're going to do, our big, other one of it, but most of them, that space, and then go out here, that space, one way, that's what, the water space all the time, because of all that's going on. When they relocated that tile the first time, Mr. Monaghan was one of the supervisors, and probably knows more about drainage than most of us in this room. Suggested that the solution is take a site, right there, where it crosses the road, so that other stone crossing in the micro, straight to the river. That was recommended at that time, and it was never addressed by the engineer. And it never got beyond the. Mr. Bowden, I'd like to ask you to sign that petition for approval, is that right? Thank you. Because they were the ones that were asking for a change. We said that relocation, the supervisor can prove that relocation based on the assumptions that your engineering report and everything showed results. I got 9 years of swamp and water running off of there and look at the ditch. And, I'm on the north end of that swamp, so you said that we're on the west end of the swamp, but sure, Mr. Harvey, but keep in mind, Mr. Harvey hasn't owned that land, probably only, a year or two. There's a couple reasons all this was done. You had an absentee landowner way outside the area that wasn't even there. This is Ryan again, speaking, you're correct. There is a pile up of water that's occurring in this location. This facility is, zone agricultural, confinement, operations are, a fact of life. They, as a landowner in the district, have, the use of that tile facility. And to assure that in this expansion, we as the engineer working with, Iowa Cage Free are trying to make sure that we're addressing that the runoff from this site isn't producing any more runoff than what it would be by agricultural ground. And how do we do that is basically utilizing these storm basins to catch that water, temporarily hold it, and release it at no greater rate than what your agricultural tile system is designed for. So this facility is not causing an impact to your drainage any more than what the existing capacity of the tile system that's existed for years. The quarter-inch drainage coefficient is, under current drainage standards, only 50% of what would be recommended for
tile capacity in that district.
Right.
That 50% tile capacity is serving all the lands, including your ground down below. And, you're correct that Mark Harvey's only bought that property to the east of you, in the last, I believe it was the last year and a half. I don't even know when the, yeah, full entire project started. So, they're working on him to address the pile up. Why does the water pile up in this location? Is because the county road ditch has no, surface relief going to the east. Okay, there is a culvert, the natural flow of water was across, and it's basically pretty much an equalizing culvert in regard to water on each side of the, road. And the slough, which has been a natural formation out there for years, is basically across on the south side. We believe the tile that, basically serves that area, was part of it on your property, that there is, we know by our investigation that there was a tile, old clay that's broken and stuff, that basically traverses off to the southwest and ties into, we believe, tied into this. So, that tile is not in functioning shape. Mr. Harvey is looking to improve the drainage on this ground because it's always been a wet piece of ground. We know that there's always been a wetness issue before this facility ever was built. We can go to the area photos to see the wetness that issues that were in there. And the district, or the district has never had a landowner petition for improved drainage in the watershed. Iowa Page Free is trying to make sure that they are not impacting your drainage. You still will get your quarter-inch coefficient, but they can't control, they don't have the responsibility to improve the tile system all the way down if the district wishes to do that. That will be a shared cost by the current assessment schedule or by a reclassification that will spread the cost of this improved tile that would bring it up to a half-inch coefficient. Now, they won't increase beyond their quarter-inch runoff that they are providing into that system. So any half-inch coefficient that you would have improved in for the district would be an additional bump for you because they would continue to utilize storm basins, control their discharge at quarter-inch rate. Why did we not have this problem until the land use was altered? It didn't start until nine years ago, or 10 years ago, or 7 years ago. Well, and at that time, when we consented, we didn't consent, the supervisors consented, to let you go ahead and build and everything without addressing it. Okay, so shorting you out there, getting a better outlet for all the sons and daughters you have. Because the land was taken out of agricultural production 9 years ago. And that's when our drainage issues started to surface. And now if you go on the compound, you never, what you're addressing here to me, you haven't said anything to address that I've seen that addresses the issue that wasn't fixed the first time. In regard to tying into this area here, tying into the existing district facility, we recommended that ICF, basically working with Mark Harvey, avoid taking this water into the system so that additional pressure wasn't put onto the district tile. And that's why they're working with Mark Harvey. You created the problem. If you want us, the rest of our members, to fix the problem, or share in fixing the problem, because you wondered the use of the problem. Well, is that a fair? No, I understand that is a fair thing, because this proposal basically is ensuring that their runoff is maintained at the agricultural rate by using the storm basins on site. Now, you are correct that there was additional runoff that was the original development. We weren't part of the, we
Somebody
weren't
else
the
wanted to
engineering
do
firm at
this,
the time that worked with
of course, you
ICS
guys
and that
agree
stuff.
with,
But I think it's your responsibility to fix that.
Mark Harvey,
We are.
somebody else.
We're working with ICS in this expansion to include stormwater management that weren't included the first time around. And basically, this, I work with the landowner, the property owner, to graduate
It's buddy.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. Too much.
So, are you interested in joining with because right now, the working situation, what they're looking to do is working with Harvey, who is interested in improving the drainage on his property. If you had,
That's the question.
Deny the relocation, and maybe they get the damn act together.
The that recommendation was made, take that bike rack straight to the river. And I probably, Mr. Watting was probably the only one on the list right there. Well, I agree, if you want to do an improvement, you can, but they got leaving the coefficients exactly the same, if not slightly better. That's right. Right, so if you want to do an improvement, it's a quarter inch, what you have right now, bad, it's not good. Most of them half an inch or an inch. Well, that's never got that much stuff. If you want that improvement, and you're right, you gotta get your checkbook out. That's what that was, because that was, that is correct. Yeah, put all that water in the bucket. Well, you got the same coefficient, you got the same thing you have that. The tile system that basically comes up the road, we're not changing. It's a quarter inch trench coefficient, and there's some sort of 1800. Okay? The coefficient through this will be maintained at a quarter inch coefficient all the way through in the soil. Or that, again, and surface water, what's coming off these buildings is going to be addressed by a private outlet. Okay? And they don't have to do that. They're doing that basically as an individual in the neighborhood. I can tell you, we can go back to area code, and we can show you in this watershed that you had ground out well before they built these little energy extents that I got. Okay? Now, if you check in regard to your own tile on your slope, okay? Your tile is functioning, part of your problem is you have a tile system that we know that there is broken tile, flat tile on the south side of that road right now. Well, maybe you need to check that tile out, make sure it's working.
Do you know how big the ponds are, lagoons?
I think so.
How much water?
They look pretty big.
That's your
Just about a night.
as far as. You don't address anything outside the property.
But if it's only 4 foot or 4 inches.
Oh, they'll be 20 feet deep.
I know they will, they should be, but they ought to be able to play the whole.
They're in the low spot now, you gotta have the water above the tile to get rid of the water.
If there is anything that's out of broken.
I don't think that's broken, I think that's what we're ready to do. The issue that was recommended by a drainage person 9 years ago, was never even addressed or pursued. I mean, nobody ever pursued it. That was supposed to be. Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing is, I'll go show you. The whole, with the original existing property, and taking out of commissions with no water getting it down there, just building, you got all run out, and that's his big concern. That was not taken care of at that time, how many years ago? 9 years ago. 9 years ago. When we, I think that was his biggest, when we relocated to that. There you go. Here's the biggest thing, this is not been addressed. Yes, this year he
stormwater, but even before I was supervisor, I seen water money, which is abnormal, because the buildings and the stormwater, what you suggesting that has not been taken care of properly. Am I not right with that? I'm gonna agree in the fact that up until now, basically this southwest portion of this Iowa Creek property actually has a fairly large slough there, that their water, a lot of their surface water from this portion of the facility actually stands on their own property. They've been wanting to do something about that. And their means of being able to get increased capacity up here to address that issue, they had to basically use the natural storage that's there, the surface storage that the agricultural ground had at the time, and realize right now, the only portion of this facility that they had basically increased runoff on was this portion down here. And they recognize the fact that there is water problems on their property that have to be addressed, and under this matrix process, they have included the expense of putting in the stormwater basin. I understand the concerns of the standing water out there that has been occurring on this side of the road, along their property line. They're wanting to do something to improve that because they're having difficulty establishing their windbreaks along this property. And to address that is why they're going after the additional capacity of a private outlet here, is so that they can get their windbreaks and stuff established along that property. We will have to begin the permit through the county, in regards to doing grading along the road right away. There will be additional surface storage that we're looking to put into this, but they're going to be trying to take that all by basement private tile, is going out this direction. But along here right now, we need to be able to get the water off of the area that has to have the certain level of planting of windbreak in it, and that's why they're going after working with Mark Hardy in regards to putting their own outlet. We understand that the landowners want drainage up there. They also want drainage to address wetlands that they have to take care of to build out here, and take care of standing water that they need to get rid of to build the windbreak that they need. And the good news about it is, they're looking to expand, so this time around, stormwater basin is being provided in.
The stormwater basin, addresses the proposed building, I understand that. This private tile that you're talking about for the existing facility, does that tie into drainage 28 -2?
No, that private tile is looking to go all the way to the river, and they do have to traverse across another landowner to get that access to the river.
So that potentially takes care of the drainage issue that's existed for 9 years. Would you agree to that?
Yes. And realize that at the time of the matrix, when the original development of the matrix for this, there was no stormwater basin design that they failed to build, but it wasn't brought up as an issue at the time in regard to putting in stormwater basin for the facility. We would again work the engineering firm working with them when they did that development. Was there a water basin? Was there a building of some type to the north of the building up in there? There is a waterway. Is there a waterway or is there's a waterway existing? They found that it's a waterway or is there a holding basin? Originally, did they engineer
One more round.
basin, to address that? No, on the original, yeah, where I want to say, yes, there was. Okay, that's fine. The whole drainage of the system is drain here, go back here, pulling and slowly, basically, years, 10 years ago. The whole thing is, the concern that people had was, hey, if you have a manure, sewer leak, you don't want that water going straight into the strip. So the tile that you're talking about, going straight down to, was addressed, but they suggested not to do it. I don't know, that's why they put this, but basically, the great track of water. Basically, that's what they're trying to do, is the park and pull that away from, I mean, really, that's what you're doing with this water here, you're taking it back up. Yeah, we're trying to get this water to NA, from this water to NA, but eventually this water to, no matter how you do it, eventually that water's gonna end up going under my, the county tax, might be, that is correct. So why, instead of circulating around, why don't you just put in a, that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do in March, that's what we're gonna do in March. Don't you know, it's a problem. Well, basically there is negotiation of things, like Mark is wanting to do a joint project.
Are we
Because he then,
able to move this?
I'm gonna try.
And is looking to go through the district with that, and is basically willing to work with allocation for them to do it on a flat basis. If you're interested in doing it through the district, then they would be very much willing to be part of the park for an improved district tile facility, because they have to find an access to the river also. The district facility is provided as an outlet for everybody in this portion can have an outlet to the river. So, all the landowners who want improved drainage to their land, to help pay for the cost of an improved outlet, if that's something we can recommend 9 years ago. It's part of the inundation system.
Can, this is Rick Peterson, Humboldt, can I make a suggestion? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It looks to me like Iowa Cage-Free is gonna benefit greatly by improved drainage so they can build a building. Why don't they step forward, file the permit for an improvement and pay for a large percentage of the improvement, bring it up to a 1-inch coefficient and move the line over there along the west side of their property and be done with it. They need the drainage. So why don't they step up to the plate, pay for it, and just do it right the first time, because they're gonna have problems down the road with what you're doing. It's just, because drainage doesn't ever get smaller, it just gets bigger. Or cheaper. So let's do it right the first time, Iowa Cage-Free, put in a petition to improve it, agree to pay for a large percentage of the cost, improve the drainage in the whole area, and be done with it. That's a simple process, let's move ahead. Because they need that line moved to put in their building. And it isn't gonna happen unless they do this, so let's get it done. Crickets.
Well, I obviously cannot speak for Iowa Cage-Free. Obviously, Rick, you also realize that the district proceedings have to be followed through any type of process, and there's remonstrance rights, basically by landowners involved to go that route.
I don't think that the farmers would file remonstrance if they get better drainage. That isn't gonna cost them much. It's.
Well, there would be, there's, and the thing we have here too, Rick, we had folks come in and, a year ago or two now, and they filed for improvement, and the very same ones that filed for improvement filed for remonstrance. Because,
Yeah, because they thought they were gonna have to pay for it.
Corn prices where, grain prices hit the skids where there's just no money for that kind of thing. But you're dealing with, I think, Iowa is, you had a half-inch coefficient. We were all done with your engineering, and Jim was there. You had a half-inch coefficient, a quarter-inch coefficient. Right. That's all they had there before, Rick, in response to what it was before. I mean, I know it's way too small, it should be a niche project. Is that about right? That is,
pay for it, upside to additional vision. All that type of cost analysis would have to be evaluated, and they would have to make a decision, is that cost effective for them to do? They are trying to make sure that they are controlling. They're controlling a 10-year, 24-hour storm runoff on their facility with the basin, where the agricultural drainage system is only designed for a 2-year, 48-hour storm capacity. And so they are designing for groundwater in excess of what the district, because agricultural ground relies on surface, temporary surface storage in drawing it off over a period of time. So, they know that they're more of an industrial operation in this area, but they depend on that outlet also. They have some kind of way to get rid of their water. And the storm basins are basically a means of adapting or taking care of that issue between industrial runoff to agricultural runoff.
Ivan, this is Bruce. How much, we don't have any numbers on these basins. What are the size, what's the capacity of them?
We do have that information. Again, you know, the size, dimensional size of the basins, I mean, how would you, first, you want those by dimensions or storage capacity?
Both would be nice.
Okay.
Roughly, I mean, I'm not talking, you don't have to have it down to the gallon, I'm just curious to know how big they are and what they'd hold, because we had several rains where 4 to 7 inches of rain, it'd be interesting to see how much water they'll hold.
Yeah, we get that kind of rain, Bruce, the sewers will go over the river then, too.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, you know, Bruce, we're using a 10-year, 24-hour storm is what the basin is being sized based on. And then, the runoff, or the storm event for a 10-year, 24-hour, I believe is 4.5 inch rain. Just double check that.
Those are kind of common anymore, I think there's 4.5 inches.
Yes, they are, Stan.
4.55 inch rain in the 24 hours, and then our runoff would be, I don't know if I have the depth of runoff, I have the storage area. So farms 8 and 9 will serve an effective, or not farm, the south stormwater basin will serve approximately 23.5 acres. That includes the barn area and part of the agricultural runoff, or agricultural ground that Iowa Cage has. And that will have 8,700 cubic yards of storage capacity. Changing that into gallons.
But the problem is, it's got capacity, but that pond is not gonna be dry.
No.
It's gonna be filled up to the outlet, so then you're only have how much capacity?
And they're still gonna dump it into the underside, so what's the difference?
That's the
It
point.
doesn't, big deal.
Rick Peterson here again. Another option for Iowa Cage Free is just to run their own private line to either the river or the ditch to the south to cover their runoff and leave the project alone. Why don't they do that?
Well, they can't leave the tile there because...
I know that, but if they were the grade to run their private line, we'd be more agreeable to moving it.
Right over it.
But if they would run their private line and not dump all this runoff into that undersized tile that's there already, we'd be more agreeable to moving it. But right now, it looks to me you're just making the problem worse.
You know, the question we have is they're willing to move the tile right now, the coefficients that they have now or have later will be the same. So they're not putting any more burden on the district. If the district wants to improve their outlet or improve everything, that's up to the district to do that, and everybody shares the cost. I think Kate Reed is saying, we're gonna control our water. They've got me in here saying that, and they're not going to put any more water on the district than is allowed. So I mean, I don't think we can stop them from that at all.
Then what are we here for?
Well, we can stop them from moving the tile, though.
Why would you stop them from moving a tile if they're not gonna cause any more damage or anything else to a watershed? Then you're just picking on a certain particular industry then for not moving a tile? Why would you say don't move the tile? They're not gonna do any more burden on the district.
Because you're spending all this time and money on restoring something that's out of date.
Kate Reed is not being moved, they're gonna move the tile, and then you guys tell me if I'm correct. This portion that normally would be coming with this tile is going the other way, but we're not correct. That is correct. This one in here, part of this runoff is gonna be drained into here, correct? That is correct. And then when this tile gets flooded out, you will put it back into that tile to get rid of it, because legally you can't, correct? Correct.
Provided you don't
Now,
have no rain.
I think the biggest problem that some of the letter we got, the petition for it, I think the biggest problem with that petition was that this has got some runoff that was not taken care of properly. Am I not correct from the people on the ground? Now, you're gonna fix that, hopefully on some of this down here, finally, no expense to the landlord. Wait, shake your head for it, man, I gotta see it, I know we gotta see it to believe it, but I was not here when this whole thing went on. Let me talk. I was not here when that whole thing went on. This is my district. And you know me by now, I usually can ask them, I make sure that shit is done properly in my area. Not maybe make everybody happy, because sometimes not that well liked, because that's the way it is. Now, I think we need to give them a chance to fix it. Am I not correct? They already sent the motion. And that's what you guys, your main concern is, right? Other than you don't want a bunch of this runoff and screwing it up worse yet, am I not correct? And they relocated it once. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Go for it, Rick.
How they want to, how they plan it. If the relocation, I have a lot of problems with the runoff.
Yeah, this will be about tile.
Yes, it's not the supervisor, not the building. I don't know, you'd have to look at the water, because they're gonna let the water that ain't out of tile.
Sounds like minutes. No, did you? Good.
But here's drainage district, as cities develop too, it's the same thing, it's just things go. It's not just drainage, we're not just agricultural.
Don't they reassess that then? Incorporate some of their
And
own.
the developers doing that to maintain this
So you're not
district
going
in the same drainage coefficient or after. Now, because the best solution they have now is people want now, but they're still at that quarter. They address,
Wasn't it if Oklahoma wanted to, they were gonna be in 12?
Unfortunately, it's an open hearing, so they're gonna listen to the public as long as
Did
they...
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Last week?
We're going together with them.
Done it, where they put it,
That's
now
what
you
we're
don't
doing
lay
now.
up there and.
To get started to go down here. Are you doing it up there right
That's what I said was.
You gave us.
Right there. You can't, I think that's it, or is it right here? here.
And so where you're gonna have to replace your header,
This is
you're
open
gonna
ditch, this is the chicken. But the hell is in these piles?
Where's the chicken place? Oh, okay.
But see, those others are,
How are they gonna
red
get,
lines are your open ditch right now.
how are they gonna get to the river from there?
You know it's along the 17. It'd be like right here.
If they make it better, they have
If
to
they go south of the river, they gotta come down here. Can't go this way.
Mhm.
Would you guys be interested in that?
I don't know.
If they come up there, improve it with the
Actually,
farmers.
again,
Oh, a new outlet?
there was
Yeah.
describing,
Pay for it.
at
Like I
that
say,
time,
you gotta
the
get there.
matrix and development permit for the portion of the
Like,
facility.
people got-
They were trying to make the contain a portion of that runoff,
Like you
get my
said, they're not doing it
service.
right.
And where they go,
That's what they
it
do
had
last
still
time.
has to outlet those, eventually going to.
Bruce, aren't you glad you're not chairman of this?
Actually, we said that.
It's now until they
No,
get their.
no, no,
Maybe
the
they-
only that we had right up here.
all they care about
So
is.
the only, that's why it's just back there, and we have really fun.
They're
They don't care about your
promoting,
business.
they're promoting,
This
they're
happens around
spending
every
million
year,
million,
and we're in
$8 million
some sort
million,
of pile
and
of all
they're
that,
digging around.
acting as a infiltration, basically, outlet.
To me, it's
So,
really
this was your last building. I mean,
bottom line.
that time, we get people through it, from all the grading, and dirt moving you did, and all the sorting on that part, building up, for the base on those things. So, yeah, water out, this pond was over there, so you know where to go. Humboldt County, do you have the diagrams and the blueprints in front of you, or you, do you
Yeah.
have any documentation?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Okay, I just wanna make sure you, okay, we're not on a big string here, I just wanna make sure you have stuff in front of you.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate it. We're still here.
No,
Our family local land, with all this stuff.
the buildings sit here.
I have with the, government.
Where are the buildings sitting, Rick?
Down here and then dump it to the building.
And with the owner.
You just got me, is that right?
That one?
They tore down this building.
It's a DD 28.
Mhm.
And that, idea of a watershed, not just a drainage district.
See, the
Highway going
They
up.
didn't have to run the main around here, run the river.
So this is no,
See, if you go that river, they get a lot
that's
of
the beginning of it right there.
So then you have to issue.
I,
They could bring their own main down.
That thing going through.
Yeah.
it's always responsibility to the drainage district.
No,
From the district,
So
when
it's-
it's more,
private lines drain to the main.
that you're acting on behalf of,
These, this,
the landowner.
I'm really lonely.
The main is
Main.
right there.
Area.
But it's,
Our water drains that way.
so they're up here.
Have to be in our meeting, all right?
They're just-
Well, this area, this is Humboldt right here, that
Yeah.
drains into it.
One of those beds.
So they're in
That's
here.
why they're probably being large, and adding on to the property.
Put up here, see, I would.
Right there up here.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be down.
That's the only way you're gonna
Green across and go to the river.
You have to go east of the river.
Then, if you were on the site of the river, they'd have to do it. Then you'd have to go here and.
And you go around them,
Yeah.
doing anything.
Yeah.
They determine this is a site.
Then you have to re-dig it all up and do it all over.
Our family's still in the area, there's still benefits from drainage.
Oh, it's not here?
No, they said it up
And then,
But to the extent our
They brought a new main
What they
from
said.
here, north side of the property.
Up at man up here.
Yeah, then they're out of
they're
here.
up above up there.
If you fish with this, it'll
All landowners are stewards of that. This
Pretty exciting stuff.
You got that on tape, don't you, Kent?
Some of them, I think my tape ran out.
Probably just as well.
Supervisors, so that the eyes on the ground in the area.
Address of this joint.
I did, big fair on this project.
Probably in this.
I thought that was done, being hired, of property, but thinking about it falling off the table. I'd like to see some back up on the table, but then I could have, need more training, big line.
Page, layer, what do you mean?
Make water, or take care of the water.
Section 24, lake, they own 6 acres.
I'm sure we're successful with, I don't think
And the district would do that.
I don't know, that's the question, that's America.
I'm not sure, I don't think anybody here is for it.
You know, under the drainage district law right now, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's a great, it's a good, you guys,
They're just out.
we're really in that part of it right now.
Yeah.
So,
They can put their own money in to take care of
the
their.
district will be the authority.
And that's it, fine.
And no water is proposed.
Yeah.
I guess we start with that, but if we, you know, I don't think we're gonna, the fact that it's not expensive, and people can have a power, so we're not in here shaking like a leaf, thinking, oh, they're gonna pay this great stuff. That's what I request. I don't need that.
Sound like it's 14.
This whole thing is really moving on, right? And it's core language, efficient relationship. Relationship to kids.
That would be the kind of, and we're tear it all back out.
Making sure that the capacity, the need, the quality, not. They're good ideas, but so we gotta look at the law. We have a 46 year old, we work under. We don't just go to things here that say, let's put 6 on this, and see what they will later. There's laws and ways to do this. As everybody mentioned, this time would be it, there was a petition for improvement, then we go through that with engineering, mitigation, everything else, and then as far as paying for it, that's what Rick thought, that's a good idea. But the law would dictate how to classify that to pay for it. Am I right? So we have to deal with the law here, we just can't make up laws, we got laws.
Looks like,
But also, the controversial side is, God wasn't done, apparently, I wasn't on board at that time, possibly, for the last time, and that's what they're concerned about
showed it right
today.
here.
Am I not
You brought that up
correct?
to the building.
I mean, the biggest thing is to make sure we get rid of the stormwater and not have it ponding up and causing ponds in other people's fields because of it. That's our biggest concern, not our biggest concern, but that's one of the major concerns today. Am I not right with you people?
He called up on the phone, didn't see the whole chicken one there.
Give us a proof.
Okay.
Relocate the time.
Show David a picture.
Come on, say what they did. We really want, I mean.
And there's that.
You know, on the bottom there,
And then
man,
that.
right here. It's gonna be right.
And so they're gonna add to that.
And then the landowner, and looking back history,
So that's,
I see that problem will come out with what they've done, what they're proposing to do. Because they still haven't addressed that issue, but Mr. Bond said that was the successful solution to that thing 9 years ago. But I think, well, they are addressing that, they are addressing that issue, am I not correct?
That's a location.
They are addressing that, but they are addressing that
You
issue
draw it up and show it.
that was not addressed properly 9, 8, 7, 6 years. And that's what the director of the river.
Buildings, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he said they are not gonna tap in to the county tile or something. He said it's gonna be a separate private path. You gotta take some pressure off that. We're just trying to shorten the length on the length of the river for the outlet. Instead of going 3 miles, all you gotta do is go a mile. But their solution doesn't, they just put in another tile, they're not even taking the pressure off the county tile. But there shouldn't be, they're doing anything with that, so they're gonna take that away, when they take that compound off the other way, they're gonna put it in storage bins, and they're gonna wait till they can release it. No, that's gonna be released, if I'm not correct, is it gonna be released?
Oh, yeah, it's empty, right.
This water over here,
It won't be in
going to
there.
this stage, they've already got agreement with the landowner next to them to to go directly to the Boone River.
So there's something in right there,
Yeah, and this portion off, this, actually the split is, generally about through here, just approximately where there is a ridge divide. And this water all around our number 5, any of the improvements around this basin are all going through.
Somebody cut our line.
So we're taking some of the water that used to go this way, out by private tile this direction. This water, when it was actually off the ground, all went to this district property. We're trying to take this water out by private tile all the way to the river. That big basin over here are to basically control this and prevent it from basically overcharging the
I think
I don't think we did, agreed to at the time, that they had the approval of the first matrix. They had done what they were instructed, or what they agreed to do at the first matrix by building this system here. There was no written agreement that they were going to take this water by private tile out. They didn't have a landowner that they had working relationships with on this side to work with for this private outlet, which they have now, and they're working with it. This expansion is beyond what they had, and they presented this to the county under a public hearing in regard to the matrix and being able to expand this facility and how they were going to control their runoff by that expansion. Today, at the same time, they had petitioned to the district to reroute the tile with that construction of this port basin and expansion of facilities could happen, and we can personally get the reroute. So in the future, the landowners in the future want to improve this tile system. They have right away along the facility to be able to access that tile in the future. That's why we're wanting to reroute. We want to make sure we're maintaining capacity. We want to be able to have access to that tile, tiles by the district to do their work in the future. We're maintaining capacity.
And you're increasing like 2 outlets to the river.
Yes. Could you address the outlet? It should have been addressed 9 years ago. Do we have an outlet address?
It's a landowner here from that's north of the facility, is there a landowner that's here that's north?
This is north, I'm south.
You're north?
Southwest corner of this place, right there, yeah.
Okay. Are you having troubles with drainage in your field?
Very, very close. We've got all this, put that like across. This water, yeah, ground water, this water all went to the district tile right through here. And then there's a surface culvert, original culvert, under the road right here. And there is this environment that goes to this slough over here, which has no surface outlet. There is no surface outlet to that. And it has to go by the district. And all those buildings that you covered that E40 with, yes, I know the very first one, that if you did asphalt, to see where the water goes. There's not putting the drain in the water, those parking lots in the city have drain that goes into the storm sewer. You guys just let it run. They gotta make their own sewer. Yeah. The storm sewer is the district facility right now. That is, the storm sewer is my 90 acres across the road, so you can use my filtration system and you cover it up to your own. But, let's move on. Anyone from Humboldt County?
I got a suggestion.
Rick has a suggestion.
Hey, I'm sorry, hang on one second, I'm back. Let's get a drainage, I'll be right down the county edge. Towards the river? No, yeah.
like in a city, you go across city properties and.
But then remember, a district asset is a district asset, it's not a county asset. There's no such thing as county tile. It is
Right.
owned, the tile in your district is
That's right.
owned by the people, and we're just trustees, Jeff. We don't, there's no county control of any tile other than the trustees. We don't own any, there's no such thing as county tile.
Oh, the district was first born. County paid for part
Yeah,
of
they
the
don't see me.
district. The state.
No, they don't.
I have the original paper.
First you run it.
District was born.
Yeah, buzz in.
So there was insurance and everything for everybody. This property changed to a section
Went around
in the
each
middle
one of
of a farm. We have to acknowledge that the rules are more, laws are more, are not the same. They're not as they are today. We have watershed agreements. The things that the cities are doing today to handle a deal like this should be applied to this situation and also in all I have. That's how you can help it.
Could just address how, under the original establishment of a district, any of the landowners inside that watershed actually paid for the original development. There was no grant money, there wasn't any of those things. The railroad was the landowner in the district. They had an assessment, or the assessment schedule lays out what percent of benefit each landowner gets.
All the
We
preliminary
have
work
not
should be done before
evaluated
we
that
have to do this
in regard to the current assessment schedule, but I'm assuming it's a very old assessment schedule. Every landowner in this district has the right to petition for a reclassification.
Yeah, if I get you, bird in.
If you feel that this property owner out of Cage Creek with their construction is causing more or getting a larger benefit from the drainage of this facility, you can ask for a reclassification, and a disinterested engineer and two landowners from within the county that don't own land in this watershed will be the commissioners that determine how much benefit everybody gets in the watershed. So if you wish Iowa Cage Free, you feel that they're responsible for more runoff, that will be part of that reclassification. So after this hearing today, you have the whole right to step forward and basically ask for a reclassification if you wish that to happen.
I got a suggestion. It's Rick Peterson again.
If there's no time in here.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Go ahead.
I know the whole issue here is expediency for
Weather.
for Iowa Cage Free. It is possible for them to put in their own private line that's adequate to take care of the runoff and the farmer's need. They could put it in as quick as possible and then donate it to the drainage district. That would solve everybody's problems. This would go away, they could build their building, and get it done. And then they won't have to go through all the hearings and all that, because it's a private line, and remonstrance, they won't have to fight that. They could do it, sign agreement, sign it over, done deal. They're spending more in engineering costs than I think this line would cost. Has that ever been a consideration from Iowa Cage Free? It's a good neighbor thing to do, solves all the problems, moves the project forward, to get to build their building, keep it simple and clean.
Again, Rick, I guess, I can't speak in regard to Iowa Cage Free from, what they're willing to pay for or not pay for.
Well, you can present that to them.
They're willing to be part of this district in any improvement to the district facility. And again, the commissioners that would be appointed would basically be making the decision as to how much benefit by increased surface runoff.
There would be no commission. They do it privately and then donate it when the project is done.
They do not have control of land all the way to the Boone River. They already went through private negotiations to get an outlet to the Boone River on the northeast corner of their property. And they are under the process of working with an adjacent landowner to the southeast, who does not have full access of land all the way to the Boone River. So they have to negotiate with an additional landowner to get that outlet to the southeast. They are in the process of trying to address and improve drainage on their property.
I believe drainage law,
Doing it without causing additional increased problems to the district.
I believe drainage law, they have the right to go there, but they have to pay damages, which is crop damage and disturbed soil, so it could be done quite easily. So don't give me that song and dance, 'cause it can be done.
Well, what we're here today to is the request to move the tile, Rick,
Yeah.
and the engineers are stating that they will not.
I'll make a motion to deny.
Flow anymore. It will not affect the flow anymore now or in the future with this design.
I make a motion to deny the petitions to move.
I'll second that motion, Rick Underberg.
Yeah, we'll put there.
Elsewhere and drainage is related.
And then the access to the county tile be in the middle barn, not a barn. That's the whole thing is to move the tile to have the county have full, or anybody have full access to their. By moving the tile, it is gonna make it easier for future improvements. That they are not doing anything, they're not adding any burden to the flow at this time. The engineers are stating that. They're adding one, it looks like two, release to the river
Wasn't talking about you.
on their property. So just to say no because of no doesn't make any sense, because you've got experts saying that it does not add to the coefficiency. Yes.
Did you do a motion?
And with the discussion,
We need to finish the motion.
Did you accept the motion?
we already have first and second already.
He heard the second.
Right.
Is there any yeas or nays?
Well, no, you do.
You haven't voted.
First.
And then, can I get the names?
Okay, Rick, you made a motion, and Underberg made the
Second.
Yes.
I mean, by doing nothing, the tile stays in between two buildings, is that being real prudent as trustees to the district? If they're willing to move the tile to give us better access in the future, or maybe a possible improvement down the road. Because they're not increasing the flow in the tile. All they're asking for is to move it, so it's better than what it is right now. So
It's
they
not-
can expand.
Which one of them got the kickback?
Engineer.
I would, propose that if you disapprove this, and they build these buildings, and there has to be an improvement to this tile, it will cost not only Page Free, but the adjacent landowners additional funds that will be assessed to them through the drainage district. I mean, you're just trying to move this main from underneath where buildings are going to be built out where you have access to it. Right, that's the only thing we're looking at today, gentlemen, is that, and it will affect the actual flow of water before this thing or after, and the engineers are saying, no, it does not affect it. You may not like the project, and I'm not saying it was designed perfectly the way back, but they're showing two outlets to the river that they're willing to do. They're willing to move the tile so we can future expand or improve it at ease. So I don't understand the reason just to say no. I mean, they're working within their rules under the drainage. You know, they can petition for improvement, and it would cost everybody dollars if they wanted to. They decided not to do this. They're not asking for any other dollars. They're just saying, can we move this thing? No different if you had a bin site going up and you wanted to move it off your bin site.
I move previous question and call for the vote.
Go ahead, Rick.
I vote no.
So,
The motion is to deny the request, correct?
you have to vote yes if you want to.
All right, I vote aye.
Rick, you want to deny or approve the request?
Deny.
I vote to deny the request.
Eric?
Eric Underberg, I vote to deny the request.
Dave Lee, deny it.
Carl Mattis, deny.
Bruce Reimer's denied.
Rick County, Stan, how do you vote? Approve? Rick, how do you vote? Approve. Everyone's approved. We're tied, to fail.
They can't build it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Which means,
Continue next week.
We all?
They can't.
They can't, they
They
only have
can't
three
build-
supervisors.
Well, yeah, I know.
They can't build it unless it's moved, can they?
They won't.
No, they can't build it.
Put it back.
They can't build it.
So they need to come back with a better plan.
Well, I think they can come back.
Well, that's what we should put on the sheet, get a second opinion, because right now, what they're asking for, it's stupid, to put that kind of volume and
Yeah.
think that these retaining ponds
Yeah.
are gonna take the water off. When they're full and we get rain, where's the water gonna go? It's gonna run.
If that tank was empty, it'd be a work.
It's gonna go right in the tile.
You get over 4.5 inches in 24 hours, there'd be problems with it.
Rick, Stan, and Hagable, is it Hagable?
Oh, Carl.
Carl.
Spelled with a K.
They all voted no, Kurt, right?
They all
Yeah,
voted
they all voted
Whatever,
for it.
two for it, yeah.
So I'm sure we're gonna get a phone call here pretty soon about what in the,
Hell, are you guys doing?
You better come back with, and you gave them really good suggestions.
Yeah.
well, the other side of the
And that
coin is
bullshit
when
where they
we're,
can't go through landowners, that's bullshit. All they gotta do is pay for damages.
That's right.
Well,
Private
what if
drainage law
you
covers that.
just improve the part,
Private drainage law section.
they
of the code.
privately improve the part that they wanna
You need to go
move.
all the way to the out.
Yeah, they need to put a new outlet in. Simple, they could do it, and you could do it within 30 days.
Yeah, they just have to
Well,
meet with the
that's-
contractor.
You can hire a
Can
contractor,
they-
and put it in.
Are you talking about
Oh, he's still on.
replacing the district tile?
No,
No.
Run a new main up and then give that main to
You
the
wanna shut
district
it off?
and tap it into the
We
district
gotta
line.
go out of drainage.
you wanna go out of drainage, and then we'll get
Motion to go out of drainage.
Here's this map,
We have a motion
Second?
second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign,
This is
we're out of
basically
drainage.
just a copy.
That's the copy of the
Run the
people that,
line
uh,
up to here.
2 months
Take
off.
care of their building,
yeah.
run it over.
Who was the first?
Dave.
Then they don't even have to reroute this mill.
Done what?
And then donate